Alright guys, so today we're going to do something a little bit different. A lot of our lighting kits revolve around the Fumos because they're, well, fun and awesome. But there are a lot of Sahara hookahs out there that have really beautiful glass work and do well under lights. And their bases are different. We can usually use our light plates, but some people maybe don't want to spend $40 plus shipping on something like that when you can get one of our light kits for $15, $20 or even less, depending, especially if you already have the LEDs. So today what I'm going to do is show you how to light this large Sahara standard round base, so they call this one the candy stripe, I believe. So we're gonna illuminate. This is one of their larger bases, and the large size, you get the extra large, is different obviously, but this is one of the widest bases they sell in their standard line. So you can pretty much do this with any hookah. So let's get started. Okay, so we've got our stainless steel clamp here, and what we want to do is just take off our tightening screw so that we can open her up. So we just unscrew this so it opens, all right, and then we're gonna bend the ends back kind of around our thumb. Okay, and this is going to create some curvature later that'll help protect the glass of our hookah. Do the same thing over here and just bend around the thumb. Where you do this is really not terribly important unless you are limited on how many LEDs you have. Okay, so now we've got that. What we're going to do is cut this off with our wonderful tin snips and or wire cutters. Really quickly, we're just going to check and see how it fits. And you see right there, it snaps in underneath our hookah, and that'll create some shadow. Now what I need to do is paint this because I don't want the shininess. I want to hide it. So I'm going to paint this black. So we'll be right back. Okay, guys. So I painted this. And you can see it's still drying, so I might flake off. I'm not worried about that. I apologize if you see some of these spots. But what we need to do now with this is go ahead and align the inside of our ring, our former coupler. Now this is our bracket. That's probably how I'll refer to it the rest of this tutorial. But what you want to do is line the inside of it nice and snug. Leave yourself, about a 1-inch clearance right here, because that is going to be where our LED connector rests and is secured. You don't want this on the rounded part. It'll eventually peel off, break, do some things. So we're going to flatten it here, and then we use the wire to round the corner. All right, this is pre-wired, but we're not going to use that. We're going to use our connector because we don't always have these wires. So we want to do this worst-case scenario. So again, wrap this around, find the point where we're going to cut. Always remember to cut on one of the cut points that are on these for us. So Jason will zoom in a little bit. What I'll show you here is you'll see on every one of these reels, almost every single type of the waterproof LEDs that are on these strings like this, you're going to have a 3 bulb and then a break point, a cut point. Okay, and those are identified by little copper dots here. And actually, if Jason can zoom in close enough, I don't know if it'll work. Right here, it even shows a little picture of scissors, kind of cutting through it. So that's how you know where to cut these. Okay. So let's go ahead and figure out where we want to cut it. On this particular one, if I can cut it here, and I can't cut it till here again, which is overhanging. So what I'll do is I'll cut this one here, and then we'll just kind of center it up a little bit. It won't matter if it's not all the way to the edge. Less is more in an application like this. Okay, so if you don't know how to do this already, go ahead and watch the tutorial. We have, I'll link it out on how to properly cut, strip, and connect. Okay guys, be right back. Okay guys, so now what we've done is we've connected our LED connector, and then what I like to do, sometimes I do it, sometimes I don't, we'll water seal it with our silicone, which I used on the far end here just to cover up where the wires were. But on this one I sealed it, and then I took some heat shrink and shrank it down, hold it nice and firm, keep it nice and tight and sealed. And okay, so what we need to do is test it. Plug it in to our power supply. Okay. Hit the switch, she's on. Next thing we want to do is take our dimmer, our 12-volt dimmer switch, and make sure that that is functioning correctly. I know it sounds silly, but sometimes these things come and they don't work. So you can see that's definitely working. There's all the way up, and there's off. Let's go ahead and mount this to our bracket. Okay guys, so what we need to do next is go ahead and peel off our adhesive tape backing. Now I accidentally heat shrunk that inside here, so what I can do is just put a little notch in it and peel it like so. Make sure to leave the adhesive on the LED. Sometimes it does peel off. Go ahead and pull it all the way off and put it inside. And I would say center your lights. Before I said make sure you keep this near there. It's really just about support. So try to find a good center point, which looks about there. And you have a choice now. You can either
keep it flush with the tabletop and have a slight ledge here, or you can bring it center to your clamp. That's up to you. I'm going to try and bring it somewhat center. And be sure as you're doing this, you're working all the way down, making sure it's nice and snug. You don't want any gaps in there because that'll come off eventually if you leave a gap for water or other dirt and stuff to get inside there. So I'll finish this up and we'll be right back. Okay, so I've got my LEDs all secured here with 3M tape that it comes with. And what I want to do now, when I'm using this, I'm more than likely going to be sitting on the far side of the hookah with the lights behind it to me, so I get the greatest glow, because this is going to be the darker side if I were facing from it. So the idea is, this is going to be on the back, quote unquote, of your hookah. So you don't want the wire hanging out the front where you can see it. Not that you're going to see that much of it anyway. So what I want to do is bring it around the back, alright? And that way it's tucked out of the way. And you can do this, you don't have to do this, but what I think I'm going to do next is cut a notch right here in my clamp, my bracket, and drop a line in there slightly to conceal a little bit better. So I'm going to cut that really quickly, and again, we'll be right back. Alright guys, so you can see I've cut a notch in here to help feed my wire through, just to conceal it a little bit more. The next thing is pretty much the last thing. We're going to take our Harvey's putty epoxy. This stuff dries like concrete or steel, and we're going to use it to affix all of this. And I'll hold it in place with my clamps, and then when we're all done, this set's completely, we can paint it to match, and it'll be a beautiful little kit. With this Harvey stuff, guys, remember that it's a two-stage, it's two compounds that you have to really knead together like Play-Doh to activate it, so make sure you do that really well so you don't just stick Play-Doh on here, that's not going to do anything for you. Okay guys, so you can see I've applied all my epoxy putty here, and it's got the prettiest thing in the world right now, but when this dries, this stuff is great. I'll actually be able to sand it down and smooth it out, and then I'm going to paint it, and it'll look like it's a kit made for this perfectly. So I think that's really all that's left now is we'll let that dry and come back and smoke our cool little hookah kit. Okay guys, so I'm a little bit impatient, so what I want to do is just show you what this looks like, and then I'll finish it up later. There's a little bit of a gap here, so you're going to get a strange light kind of coming out there, but ignore that for a moment, otherwise it's going to be sealed like this side is, and we'll just go ahead and turn her on. And there we go. Beautiful illuminated, soft white Sahara hookah. Go ahead and turn the lights off, Jason. And what you can imagine is this is taking advantage of the really, honestly, Sahara does a great job with color on their hookahs. It takes advantage of the natural color of the hookah, and it's accentuating what you have as opposed to making every hookah look like a rave. That's probably one of the drawbacks to a fumo. You're tempted to use color where the color is what the hookah is, so it matches perfectly. But I think, yeah, pretty stinking cool. And then, depending on the mood, I'm on a romantic date. There we go. Maybe we're trying to party. I can't see where I'm going. I got to get up and get a beer. Can you turn the nightlight on? Oh, there it is. So there you go, guys. Awesome fun. And the beauty, this is going to fit so many hookah bases. And I couldn't even name all the hookahs this is going to fit on. And if your base is a little bit smaller, you can flex the ring and shrink it down a little bit. It's super flexible. So you're welcome. Hope you like it. And let me know if you want to see something else done. Okay, guys? Thanks.